Hello, welcome to Double Talk. I'm Mark Steffen.
I'm Michael Mandel. This just in is a piece of paper. Yes.
Tonight's forecast,
Is
dark.
Really?
Yes, followed by widely scattered light in the morning.
Are you lying? Is that a made-up fact, or is that?
No, that's true. That's the true fact.
Well,
Welcome to the show.
yeah. So we are here. This is
Like I said at the top of the show, cheap wines is one of our
cheap
topics
wines.
today.
Did it say cheap wines? Because I was looking at paper.
It did.
Which,
This is important.
you notice how when anybody's handed a piece of paper, this just, if you look at CNN or MSNBC
Yeah.
or Fox TV, all of a sudden there's a thing, breaking news.
Yes.
And that thing stays there for like 6 hours.
Yeah,
It
breaking
just
news.
breaks, right.
Until it breaks.
We're going to have breaking news, but before that, let us break a tradition in exploring things that we might like and explore things that we might not like.
But that's okay.
Well,
we'll go either way.
You know, for you, we never did licorice flavored drinks. So
Appreciate
for
that.
you, I did it. Teddy was the one who suffered through that, but it wasn't suffering because he liked that type
enjoyed
of
that,
stuff.
okay.
So.
What are we doing
We
today,
all
Michael?
like wine, you know. We all like wine, and people always say, "Why don't you do wine or beers?" And recently, we did beers because
We've done wine, we've done beer. We don't do a lot of wine.
We don't do wine because there are so many wines out there. There are so many good wines. I mean, you go to Toucan, as you said, and you got 3 for $12.
3 for $12.
They're usually good.
California wines.
There's also many good wines at restaurants. Two of the ones we happen to surprisingly like. We've always liked J. Lore Seven Oaks, and that's a great cab, and you can get that at Pizzeria Uno.
Now that's a California wine, right?
Oh yeah, it's in Paso Robles.
Did you know? Have you heard
I
about the
visited-
California wines?
Oh no, tell me about California wines.
Well, they recently...
You know, it's a very broad area.
They've recently been studying the California wines, and they're sampling them and doing chemical tests on them. And 100% of the wines they tested contained the ingredient from Roundup. The chemical ingredient that's in Roundup, the weed killer.
Yes,
100% of the California wines they tested had that in the wine.
So that's good. That means your urinary tract will never get weeds.
Well, there's always
You don't
that.
want weeds there. You want a certain type of weed, but you don't want weeds in yourself.
No. and
Roundup.
you don't
I would
want it
like
in
to see
yourself.
that study. Is that from Breitbart News?
No, it's from the laboratory apparently that did the testing. Now, I'm not
Now
saying
I don't feel bad about spraying I wasn't spraying my crops because of you and other people who might complain.
there's nothing wrong with organic wine, Michael. Now,
Well, yes, there is actually. If you've ever had organic wine, it usually isn't as good as equally priced wine.
Well,
It just isn't. And it's not the Roundup that gives it extra flavor, I don't think.
now I'm not saying they tested every California wine, but of all the California wines they did test, 100% of them had the chemical that you find in Roundup, weed killer.
Which could be an organic chemical, you don't know. You don't know, it could be, people talk about things in food that have long names. Some of those names could be, wheat.
Well, at this rate, Monsanto could have their own label of wine.
They should, they have their own label
The
of
Monsanto
soybeans.
Merlot.
So when you say California wine, though, I remember not too long ago, and they probably still do this, Cafe Central.
Yes,
Cafe
in
Central
El Paso.
In El Paso, would do this thing. We're having a wine tasting. Come on over. It's like $70. Come do it or something. And you call them up and you say, "What wines?" And they said, "Oh, we're doing California wines."
That's all they'll say, huh?
And I said, "What do you mean? Everything's millions of California wines." They said, "Red."
Walgreens is loaded with red California wine.
So is the entire world, though.
Yeah.
And there's quite a range of prices of California wines.
Yes, indeed.
Pretty much, like you said, 99 cents for some. I'll explain these in a second. Two, I would say, first of all, astronomical prices for older red wines. Good red wines you can get for between 10 and 20 bucks.
You can get a Francis Coppola wine for about $12.
Yeah, as I said, J. Lore, Seven Oaks. Also, Horse Heaven Hills, which is available at Cattle Baron. That's a really good wine. And they're around other places too. These wines my wife got when she bid on a silent auction gift, which included a cutting board and ladybug type of tablecloth, and that's what we should bid on it.
So you got stuck with these
so
two
she
wines.
She thought maybe they're good. I bid on things at silent auctions that the wines were like $30, $40 wines. So I take this one right away, and everybody can do this on their computer. You type the name into the computer, it will pop up. When I typed the name of this wine, what popped up was 12 wines for $55.
What's the name of the wine, Michael?
It's Plaza de la Reina.
Plaza de Reina.
And
That's
it's a Spanish wine. It's got Monastrell, which is a interesting Spanish wine, atypical. Yeah, different grape. Is that the camera? Which camera? This camera? Okay. And it's also got Tempranillo, which I consider the Cabernet Sauvignon or the Sangiovese of Spain, because it's a good, solid wine with body. And of all those names of grapes, there are many different qualities.
Well,
we're about to find out about this. So,
okay.
All I can say, it smells like I didn't wash the glass.
It's got an unspectacular nose.
Yes.
And I'll say this, Michael. I've had worse wines.
You can taste, it's not even a tannic flavor. It's just like a slight acid with an organic feel to it. So how much Roundup do you think this one has? Let me see what percentage Roundup it has here. It doesn't say what percentage. But,
no, but at least it's not an assertive Roundup.
You could drink this all night long and not even notice that you're drinking anything, I think. So maybe you'd get a little bit vomity.
It gives you a dry finish on the back of your tongue.
And a dry...
On the front of your tongue, too.
A dry sense of your future. There's nothing on the front of your tongue. Does it ever get as far as the back?
And
people think it depends on what you're drinking for. If you're drinking for the alcohol, then just get absolute vodka.
Well, yeah.
Which is pretty.
If you're going to buy a bottle of wine, you're going to.
You want it for a reason.
You want it to be go with your meal, for instance. That's how I usually drink it.
To supplement or add to the flavor. And I know that for me, when I eat steaks, a good Cabernet is a great compliment. As when you eat fake steaks made out of soybeans.
A wine is a great accompaniment and improvement on many a meal. To me, in my
There's a good flavor. There's an interaction. And also wine helps to break down the fat and amino acids.
It does help digest your food.
This is just breaking down.
Red wine does have lots of good resveratrol in it, which you need.
That's true, to keep your blood healthy.
Yes.
And to keep you from getting heart attacks.
If you drank two glasses of this a day, you'd
be totally healthy.
Be very healthy.
And you'd really hate wine in general. So a lot of people like to save money and think there's no difference in wine.
Okay.
You can notice the difference. We'll sip this until the middle of the thing. This one is a Pinot Grigio from the Veneto area in Italy. I have more hope for this.
The Via Veneto.
Via Veneto. Well, that's a street Veneto.
Veneto. And we'll get to this after the break.
Yes.
Because we have a lot of things to talk about today, Michael. Do. First off, happy birthday greetings go out to Dawn Solar, account executive right here at the Las Cruces channel.
Really? Mm-hmm. Does she work on our account? Or do we work on her account? There must be a reason. Yes, happy birthday, Dawn.
And plus...
Is that her husband over there?
Yeah.
That guy?
Yeah. And Monica Solar, she's having a birthday.
What?
This week as well.
You can't be born the same day as your mother. That would be like incest.
Well, they're a couple days apart.
A couple days apart?
A couple days apart this week. Monica is
what, 16?
She's in medical school,
She's 17 and in medical school?
Sure.
Really? Is she a subject?
Well, pre-med.
Are they cutting her open? What are
pre-med.
they doing? Oh, okay.
And
she's so young.
High school to college.
I remember her when I used to teach her English.
Yes. And
now she's a medical person. She doesn't need English.
So happy birthday to her.
Happy birthday,
She gets prettier
Monica.
every year.
Okay.
She does.
Where is that going to end? Oh, when she dies, I guess. But I guess she'll just keep getting prettier.
Die pretty.
Yeah. That's
and
good. Here.
In the news.
Here's a drink to both Dawn and Monica. How's that?
Toast to you girls.
Cheap wine. We'll drink the good wine after this. I'm going to drink more of this just because we have a whole half of a show to do here.
Well, you may need some wine, Michael.
Because
the border wall, it's been approved. I don't know how we're going to pay for it, but it's been approved.
What do you mean we, Gringo?
And now they're taking designs.
Designs?
They don't know what the wall's going to look like yet. They're taking...
They already have, we already have a wall. I think this is the most moot waste of $23 billion or trillion dollars.
Billion.
Excuse me. It's hard to tell.
We have a wall over a good deal on the border.
Where most people are.
our portion of it, and in California they have a wall there, and they have a wall in Arizona.
And as I've stated before, even with you, immigration has really slowed down.
It has. I hear there's more people going back to Mexico than there are coming here.
They're running. Mexico or
Illegally.
Canada. A lot of Mexicans are going to Canada. Canada has less stringent rules. They also have a better healthcare plan. They get on the healthcare plan right away.
Well, what kind of design do you think they could be having for this
What's
wall?
the design? I mean, what
Did you ever see the Great Wall of China?
What product is cheap? You know, that's what you want.
Here's what we
Metal
have
is
right
not
there.
cheap. Cinder blocks is probably the cheapest construction material there is.
Oh, they're not gonna
That's what
cheap
your
out.
old house was made out of, right?
Yeah, look, there's
So-
the Great Wall of China. Now it's a tourist attraction. They make a lot of money off that wall.
I know, but that is kind of pretty, you know, and look at all that up and down. And they had virtually slave labor because that's all they used. They
It took them
their-
1,000 years to build the thing.
Yeah, well,
How about a nice picket fence?
I think that's very American.
Very welcoming.
People will know it's America, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, it might encourage them to want to come here.
No, we get sued because they would slip and fall and impale themselves on the picket
that's
fence.
true.
So, you know, we'd be liable for the picket fence. How about a
So,
nice glass wall?
A glass wall would be wonderful because
You
then
can
you
wave to 'em.
could see people. The Las Cruces City Council has said they don't want the border wall because it well, it's not going to really stop commerce because commerce keeps going in. But we need commerce. We
do need it.
We are what, the sixth biggest person who benefit, a group of cities that benefit from trade with Mexico.
Yeah, it's this poor region, you know. We need that trade.
We do.
Now, you know, they're building a glass wall around the Eiffel Tower in France.
No, I didn't know.
Yes,
that.
they're building a wall around the Eiffel Tower to keep,
Is this going to be a pun?
so they can regulate the people coming to visit the Eiffel Tower.
And not put bombs on it?
So they decided they're going to make it out of glass, thick glass, so you can still see the tower no matter where you're standing on the other side of the wall.
Well, that's a big tower.
true.
You can see it from wherever you are, pretty much.
Well, when you're up close on that park area, you know, in front of it. So they're going to have a glass wall there.
Well, that's minuscule compared to this.
Yes.
That's like I could call a fence guy in Las Cruces, and he could do that easily. But to do the wall for $23 billion,
You know what glass is made out of? Sand.
yes,
That's all we have in the desert here. They've got plenty of sand. They can make the wall right there out of glass.
That's a great idea. They'll just shovel it up, burn it to the heat that it turns it into glass, and there you got it.
See, simple as that.
And then put ladders over it.
Yes.
I mean, that's why it's so stupid. It's such a physical thing. Immigration is not just a physical thing, it's a conceptual thing, an idea of you want to be someplace, you get to that place, and physical barriers are not going to, stop you.
Well, you know, if it's a 10-foot wall, all they need is a 10-foot ladder.
11-foot ladder.
No,
Oh, it's true, 10-foot.
10-foot ladder.
Actually, even a 9-foot, you stand on the wall.
Actually, you need two of them, so you can take one and put it down on the other side.
Depends
so you
on
can
if the
climb down.
bottom's flat. You know, they could do what they do to keep birds away, put broken
Glass.
wine bottles
Yes.
sticking up. Yeah, that'll look good.
A razor wire.
Yeah, do the glass.
It's good. It's recycling.
It's cheaper. Yeah.
Right. Now, up in Santa Fe, the Santa Fe Senate.
Wait, while we're talking about the border wall, and the city council did a proclamation that said we are against the border wall, and we
Yeah.
are a border community, so who's better educated than
the
we
border,
are because we experience that stuff. The county commission also made a resolution this week to be immigrant friendly,
Yeah.
not allow the police to go and make broad raids. They can, of course, still go after anybody who's got they have a criminal
Yes.
reason to go after, but not just anybody who's just here. There's a lot of people who live here for years, 10 years. The woman who owned the Good Luck Mexican restaurant, she was taken and deported. She was a business person, just like George Rawson, who's on the commission. And
Not George.
Which one?
His
brother, Ben?
Yeah, Ben Ross.
Ben Rawson. Well, they both are businessmen. Well, and what if they they decide to go after Mexican business people? What if they decide to go after WASP business people? Wouldn't they be a little nervous? Anybody who's
But
a
they're
WASP?
here illegal.
Who? The Rawsons?
Well, whomever.
Illegal. Illegal is also a concept.
Well, at least the deputies used to pull people over, and if they looked suspiciously Mexican, they would detain them until the ICE people would show up.
And then they put them on ice?
They're not doing that anymore.
That's good.
Now, up there in Santa Fe, where the Senate meets, there were two bills in motion.
Yes.
One to legalize marijuana. That one failed,
Well, the motion to legalize it did. You
Yes.
want to do the addendum to that?
which is
The Senate, where arresting somebody for pot would merely be a fine,
Well,
like a parking ticket.
pretty much that way now, up to a certain amount, like an ounce, I think, or maybe.
Personal use.
Right. Now, the other bill they were trying to get through had to do with those payday loans, which can charge as much as 7,000% interest rates.
You know what's interesting about that? Unless you want to finish your sentence.
What?
Well, most of these people take out the loans for about a month or two. So if it were like a normal percentage, like 12% or 17%.
Which is bad enough.
1% of like $400, that means you're risking your money for, let's say, $4. But it is kind of mean to spend more per month than what you're getting in the beginning.
Well, it's only poor people who can afford to take out those loans.
No, they can't afford to
They
take
can't
out
afford
loans.
them.
The word is wrong.
That's
who are silly enough to take out
That's
those
right.
loans.
But sometimes they think they have no choice, or the car title loans.
That's true.
Now, those places don't want you to pay it back. They want to keep your car. They get a car for $500.
They want to keep charging you interest.
Right.
So if
And
you
they-
need
and
money, either go see Mark Steffen or
Take care of you, baby.
or Reuben Smith.
Yeah,
Reuben Smith loans money.
he loans money.
Yeah.
You got to have collateral with Reuben.
Well, I think collateral is a good idea. If you don't have enough money to pay off a $400 thing. Is it our break now? Oh, okay. Well, we're going to take a break and go take out a loan, I guess.
We'll take out a loan,
Yeah.
and we'll be right back after these vital words.
Of red wine. Cheers.
Few Americans have ever heard of a practice called wildlife killing contests. This is a practice where predators, particularly coyotes, bobcats, foxes, even wolves, are targeted. The person who kills the most is awarded a gun, a belt buckle, a ribbon.
We're depleting the ecosystem of all the components that lead to a healthy ecosystem and a healthier environment for us to live in.
If we have to exterminate all the native species to ranch, then we probably shouldn't be ranching.
We have an idea of the integrity of nature. We ask people to be mindful of the relationship between humans and wild animals. Both have a job to do.
We're going to lose these beautiful animals, animals that have just as much right to be here as we do.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Burke, and I have a confession to make. I have a serious crush on my workout. Hip, fun, and always a challenge. Jazzercise is the total package. It's the only workout that I've ever truly loved. Does it show? That's because I'm in the best shape of my life. What a difference Jazzercise makes. When's the last time your workout swept you off your feet? Find a class near you at jazzercise.com.
Celebrate, celebrate, Fiesta Motors.
Come and see us today and discover why our service is second to none. In business for over 17 years, we have the right car for you. When you buy a vehicle from Fiesta Motors, we do everything possible to ensure your satisfaction. Located at the corner of El Paseo and Main. See you there.
Celebrate, Fiesta Motors. Where buying a car is always a celebration.
This happens to every waiter, but everyone agrees.
I got a good idea.
Yes.
What should we call it?
I know. Revenge of the Nerds. Yes. When shall we have it? March 11th. 6 p.m. Las Cruces Convention Center. Nerds, 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 nerds.
We're back. This is Double Talk. Mark and Michael here talking about wines.
The next wine we're doing is a Veneto, well, it's a Pinot Grigio from the Veneto region of Italy called La Marchesine Garganega. 12% alcohol. We have more hope for this than we did for the red wine. So let's see. It smells fruity. It's got a good nose, actually.
That's the best.
A little grapefruit. Oh. Often that happens with wines.
There's just not a lot to it, Michael. You got to admit.
Well, it's enough to have an accent that says, "Whoa."
I think the grapes are a bit too young. What's the alcoholic content of this?
12%.
12%. Well, standard. Okay.
Too young.
Yeah. Not worth the money.
I've never had something too young that I didn't like.
That's what I've
That's
heard.
the first. Yeah.
I'll tell you, parole officer.
No, we got like 2 minutes to say everything you got to say, so you got to figure out where you want to start.
We have a heavy weekend of things going on.
Film
here around
festival.
town. The film festival is coming up starting on Wednesday. Las Cruces International Film Festival. Brendan Fraser will be there. Johnny Galecki from Big Bang Theory. John Heater.
John Heater from
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yes, and that was a great movie. How many years ago? 12, 15?
long time ago.
Guy's probably older than us.
If you
now.
don't have your tickets yet to the film festival, get them now. There's not only films that you'll never see anywhere else, but workshops and seminars, all kinds of cool stuff.
And Mark is going to try to get Brandon Fraser and or Johnny Galecki here to discuss next week.
We'll see.
Which we will not promise.
Okay. Now, also going on this weekend, Cowboy Days out at the Farm and Ranch Museum.
But Celebrity Waiter, are we supposed to just go through it Saturday, St. Patty's Day? Forget that. Okay, Cowboy Days.
And, well, that's the equestrians out at the university.
The last time we have equestrians here.
That's right.
Sad.
And
there it is, Celebrity Zane. That's the Celebrity Waiter. Those are those nerds.
now the St. Patty's Day is coming up in 2 weeks.
March
well,
11th.
next week is our St. Patty's Day show, believe it or not. And so you don't want to be missing our show next week.
Could I do my Scottish accent? Because I can't do it.
I'd rather you not do it.
Okay, I won't.
Yeah.
But I will drink Irish whiskey, because Irish whiskey is smooth.
And we'll be drinking Irish whiskey next week.
Yes.
We will.
In some form.
We do every St. Patty's Day.
Well,
show.
it's St. Patty's Day where we started the tradition.
It is.
4 years ago, at least.
And what a tradition to have.
It's not bad.
We'll be doing that.
Hooray,
Now,
St.
like I
Patty's
said,
Day.
Cowboy Days. This is going on right now, today and tomorrow, at the Farm and Ranch Heritage Museum.
Even though that's not the graphic, but that's okay.
And that's their famous Longhorn.
You know where the Farm and Ranch Museum is? It's a good place.
University Avenue.
Yeah.
That's the gate
That's always
that
fun.
goes into it. And today and tomorrow, until 4 o'clock tomorrow, until 5 o'clock today. Also going on at the Las Cruces Convention Center is the Home and Garden Show. The Las Cruces Home Builders annual Home and Garden Show.
When you say also, you mean at a different venue than the Home Ranch Museum.
Farm and
You mean
Ranch.
the convention
It's at the
center.
Las Cruces Convention Center.
Yes.
Yes. So that's going on today and tomorrow.
If you're going between those two things, I don't think it's starting this weekend, but El Paseo and Bouts is going to have a lot of stuff going on. So they're going to have alternate lanes. So El Paseo and Bouts, which is right by Las Cruces High School. You want to talk into my mic? Oh, thanks. That felt good. Anyway,
Sorry, folks.
so if you go past El Paseo and Bouts in the next 2 weeks, they're going to do their normal thing of waiting till school is in full swing while they fix it. Our show has been on the air Mark's show and Chris's show has been on the air for pretty much eight years.
8 years? Well, I've been doing the show for 8 years.
He's been on the show 8 years.
And you think I know how to do a show without my microphone falling off like it just did.
It's the first time in 7.5
Yes,
years.
it really is.
And it usually doesn't happen.
And so thanks for bearing with me on that one.
So, and I've been on the show mostly for 6 years.
Pretty much now.
I take
And
a lot of vacations.
We're taking advantage of the opportunity to do a show here on the Las Cruces channel, as other people are doing as well.
Yes,
you
many
too
people
could
do
take
that.
advantage of the opportunity.
You
could
could
do
do
a
that.
show here.
Las Cruces,
Get in touch with
Channel
us.
98. If you're watching this, you know that people are watching it. If you're not watching it, you can see us on YouTube, because we're on YouTube forever.
Worldwide.
All the time. And people do make comments to us all the time. Mark got great feedback on his Lowrider movie. Remember that?
That's true.
Las Cruces channel is on all the time.
That's the only commercial channel in Las Cruces.
So maybe you don't feel like you can do it because you're not as brilliant and verbal as we are, but to take it from us.
Hey, if we can
you
do
are.
it, you can do it.
Yes. And it's fun.
Now, did you mention Bouts and El Paseo, not driving through that area?
I did mention that. Do
Yeah,
you want
okay.
to mention something else?
Yes, well,
It's a two-way street. That's double talk. That's our sign.
That's right. That's true. As far as other things going on this weekend to do around town, there's 3 plays you can go to. You've only got tonight, really, to take your
and
pick.
tomorrow.
And Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah, two of them have Sunday matinees, one doesn't. Truth Dare.
Truth Dare.
Truth Dare at the University Theater is going on tonight and Sunday.
The one on the corner of University and Espina.
That's going on there tonight at 8 o'clock and tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Also going on tonight.
Opening last night.
At the Las Cruces Community Theater.
Night,
yes. No Sex Please, We're British. That's a comedy.
And what's the guy's name? It's some Lewis guy. You got it there. Anyway, somebody we don't know, but
we haven't seen it yet.
Plays like that are usually riotous farces.
Madcap comedies.
Yes.
Okay, that's going on. What else? Also, there's another musical going on, or a musical. The Mayfield High School is doing Spamalot, the hilarious Monty Python, which I saw once in New York, and I saw it again, the touring show in El Paso a couple of years ago.
Have you seen it as a play by high school kids?
I have
as
not.
A play by high school kids, it's got to be more funny than the movie because high school kids do great spins on things, so that should be.
And that's happening out at Oñate High School's Performing Arts Center.
But it's done by Picacho High?
But it's done by Mayfield High School.
Oh, Mayfield.
Yes. So that's because tonight only, 7 o'clock.
Wow. So got to catch that. That sounds good. Everybody likes Monty Python's Spamalot.
It's a brilliant play, especially if you're hip to the Monty Python scenario, you know.
Yes, and if you like the Monty Python scenario, you'd like the scenario about our new Interior Secretary whose last name is Zink.
Zinc.
Or Zinky.
Yes, and he legalized lead.
The first thing he did was to legalize lead. So Zinc is legalizing lead. You don't know what's going to be coming into this country next.
Well,
it's a mineralistic country.
It may wind up in our water soon.
We had a great year in chilies, not we, but our area.
Yeah. And this upcoming chili yield is supposed to be one of the best we've ever had.
And we like chilies. You know, we were in, I don't want to brag, Puerto Vallarta. I had a chili relleno.
Yeah.
Their chilies don't have any of the flavor that we do, and it's a shame. Their chilies are like drinking this wine.
Well,
it's just like not there.
You go to the supermarket today, you'll see green chili at Albertsons. That's Mexican green chili.
Well, that's because they grow it now. And we harvest it.
It's season down there now.
Yeah, it's almost our season. I love our season here. You know, it smells great.
I love to drive up the valley to Hatch. I do it every year.
I love walking past Albertsons or Lowe's
when they're
supermarket. Roasting the chili is the great thing. That's what first turned me to love New Mexico and Albuquerque, the smell of green chili. And here, speaking about loving New Mexico, if you love New Mexico, you will be allowed to stay. That's one of the laws. We're going to say...
We're saying goodbye.
Good night.
I'll drink to that.
Or good morning. Cheers. We should make a breakfast wine.
Ooh.
We did a breakfast martini.
Yes, not just for
See our
breakfast
previous
anymore.
shows.